Time I went turn the mic on, he sneezes. Good afternoon, everyone. All righty, we are
Hello,
here.
hello.
Oh, yeah. Time I turn the mic on, then you sneezed. Let us know if you heard it sneeze real good. If you can hear us and see us. I know you heard that sneeze. I know you did. Listen, guys, let's see who's here first. Let's see who came in. Sissy and brother-in-law came in. Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
That's Brother James.
Yeah, Brother James.
Dion.
Yeah, Dee
Joe,
and
Joe,
George.
Joe Crawford.
Joe, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
You had the flu and pneumonia and all of that.
Oh, boy.
Vincent Kelly from California. Thank you, Vincent, for praying for Vern and Johnny. She's going through something right now.
Oh, yeah.
We want her to know that we are here
every time
with her and going through it with her as much as we can. And she's on here. Vern, we love you, sweetheart. We love you. Yes, she's on here. She's here. And Linda Langdon. Hello, Linda. You're having a great adventure based on your email. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's a whole lot that happens. But I'm glad you're here, sweetheart, and hope you're doing okay. And hope your puppy dogs are doing okay. And then there is Jill. Hey, Jill. Hey, Norman, Pastor Norman. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Mr. Norman J.
Yeah. And there's Deb. Hey, Deb.
Miss Deb Lee.
Yeah. I hope you had a good day in the shop. Jill, thanks. She said you can see us, and Renee said they can see it. Yeah. Who's allergic to us? Oh, the dog. Linda Langdon said the dog. Is it the dog that's allergic to you? Okay. Well, okay. Well, you guys, I'm glad you're here. And like we have posted, please be in special prayer for Laverne and Johnny. He's not doing too well right now, and she's being a very strong trooper. And
she sure is.
And
we've been there and done that. I'm sure some of the rest of you have been through that.
We know that she's walking on the grace right now, and we'll send her all the love we can to help her get through this. And so let's see. I think somebody else just came in. Oh, Deb said she didn't have shot. She said Clifton is allergic to us.
Wow.
What do you mean by that?
Allergic to what?
It's allergic. Oh, your sneeze. Your sneeze.
Oh, yeah.
I'm slow. I'm a little slow. I got you.
Not.
She said she heard your sneeze. Yeah. It took me a minute. You see how quickly I forgot about the sneeze? Wow. Yes. And all of us are praying with you, Laverne.
Laverne, I just don't know what to say to you, baby. It's
our heart's a little heavy,
and
we're just standing with you as much as possible. And let you know that you have all of our love, and
that what you're dealing with is part of the mystery of godliness in this dimension that we are.
Yes.
I haven't been able to, all the 40, 50 years of this, I haven't found an answer to it. I thought I did, but I don't.
Well, you know that really actually cool. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know.
It's a strange thing. I've run across a lot of people in the last month, this month, 70 years of age, 76. My hearing doctor, I run into a man that was 80, 90 years old. Oh gosh, a lady was behind me in the grocery store, and I couldn't stay long, but she was 80. She didn't look like it. I went across a 100-year-old lady who was in Lowe's who's still driving.
Yeah.
But then I run across some that just can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that when things like what Laverne is dealing with, and she and Johnny are dealing with, everything else takes a back seat.
Yeah,
everything else takes a back seat. So it made me realize, even though I knew it, it made me realize that Christmas is not always a happy time for some people. For some, it's a hard time. So we want to extend our love and prayers to all of those who may be dealing with some sadness this Christmas. Really So, what you going to talk about tonight? You know, we could talk about this forever, I know, but you know, dealing with what Vern is going through made me more attuned to the love of God, and I just felt like I wanted to talk a little bit about the love of God. And I do know this, that God doesn't see us in a judgmental way. If we even go back to attempt a separation of God being other than
the only thing I've been saying in my midnight lamp burning, is there any way that Spirit can or would do something to change this thing for her and for others who may be listening? I just don't know. I've been through this. She knows. She's been with us for years. I just don't have the strength. I don't know what kind of strength it would take.
Well, I have to say that in talking to Laverne, and I don't think she minds us talking about this, but in talking to her, there's a supernatural strength that's in her right now.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it's a supernatural strength. And I know she still has the human feelings, but there is, when I talk to her, there's this supernatural strength that's coming through her and grace coming through her. And I can see God all through her right now.
Miss Sharon just lost her mother, and we have the word of heart to her and to what she's been through. I can't say too much about it because it breaks me up.
Then don't, because we don't want you doing that now. No. We don't want you doing that. Don't do that yet. Okay.
I still, out of all that we've seen on the other side and the one that we know,
you still feel from your heart. Yeah, you still feel.
I've heard of some that go and it doesn't bother them, but it bothers me every time. But I can say that I'm with you, Vern. It may not look like it. I haven't talked to you much because of this empathic feeling that I have to feel you and him. And I did your wedding. I did the wedding for them, and I just can't get it. I stopped because
because you will go all the way in. Yeah. Then just turn the corner. Turn the corner.
The only thing I can do is just be quiet. You know, that's the only thing I can.
Yeah. Well, we will talk about something else to give you a chance to catch your breath.
That was a feast of Jews. Jesus went up to Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem, there was a place where they have sheep and a sheep market and a pool where sheep gathered around. In the Hebrew tongue, that place was Bethesda. And there are laid great multitude of people sick and all kinds of withered conditions. An angel would touch the waters. And at that time, the angel would touch the waters. Whosoever, after that took place, was in any condition, after the trouble in the water, they would step in and come out completely healed. But here's the thing about the mystery of this. The angel that troubled that water, they waited on him. And then here comes Jesus passing by. What is so strange about it is that angel, I'm convinced in the mystical side of God, was a double take of him. Now watch, here it goes. A double take of him and us. The angel was the essence of all of us, as well as Christ the Lord. The angel was the essence of the healing power that was in the water.
Yeah.
This place did not smell good because there was a lot of sheep coming in. It was a sheep
gate, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were gathered around. But why did an angel pick a dirty place like this to bring the holiness and pureness of God's healing love toward these people in a place where sheep gathered around and made it smell bad and look bad. And they had to step in a lot of stuff. And yet the healing presence of Jesus or the healing presence of us.
Yeah.
When you go into oneness with this thing and understand the mystical side of our union with Christ, you'll see things different than just independently saying the angel, Jesus, the water, and the people.
Yeah.
I immediately go into effortless beingness of all of them in essence. We stood there. We watched this. We were in it. We participated in it. This power that was used to trouble that water, it was ours. It was us. I'm not talking about us in an egotistical way of being just me alone.
Right.
I'm talking
You're not talking about the personality at all, because the personality is the face that I use to present myself in this world.
We are called the unfathomable self.
Yes.
The unfathomable love.
Yes.
The unfathomable compassion. The unfathomable healing power.
And love is the deepest center of our being, and it arises spontaneously. That's
the angel went down at a certain season. Now, here's what it says. An angel went down. Who saw him?
Right.
How did they know? Oh, they just said when they step in the water, put somebody in there to get healed. But the book is saying before he stepped in there, what took place for something to take place.
Yeah.
And into the pool and trouble the water, and whosoever first after the troubling of the water stepped in it was made whole. Now, how did they know?
You always said that you wondered when they wrote these different things that happened.
Yeah.
Who was the one that saw all of this?
Yeah. So the one with the issue of blood, the same thing. Behind closed doors, she was making statements and going to see the doctor. And yet this
that's called Socratic thinking.
I never heard of that.
Well, it comes from Socrates.
Sound like somebody got indigestion.
Socratic thinking is when you begin to think for yourself and you think you ask the questions, how could that be?
And I load the question too.
Yeah.
If behind closed doors it comes out. Now, if the disciples wrote this, if whoever wrote these in this book, somebody was behind closed doors, a seeing eye.
Yes.
That wrote this and then come back and told what she did, having to do all of this and didn't get better. And you go into this thing, she had a real serious case.
She did.
And in that time, they didn't allow anybody to be around that had an issue of blood. They were considered as unclean under the old law. And here she pops up. And she goes in there and she said within herself. Now, who knows what she's saying in herself?
Within herself, yes. So there is an objective witness that none of us can see.
Well, somebody put it in there.
Yes, they did. Well, it's the same thing when you go back and look at the account of the creation. Nobody was there. So that makes me ask the question, are these actual events?
That's what I said.
Or are they events that people believed that happened?
When everything is pruned off of what we have said and what religions say and spirituality say, when I put all this stuff in the mixer and mix it up and in the stove and bake it, when I pull it out, I don't have much strength to mess with it from a religious side.
Or even a spiritual
side.
Yes.
All I know is that there's only one thing that's real about us. And that is our eternal essence.
Yes.
I told a lady in the bank today that she don't look much different than what she did when she's about 3 years old. She said, well, she told me she was in her 40s. And I said, well, I couldn't tell why I could see it like that, but I did. And I had this hat on, and everybody said Merry Christmas. I went in the grocery store with it on, and
Yeah,
everybody,
you're a conversation piece.
woman walked up to me and said, ho, ho, ho. I didn't know she called me a hoe, but she said, ho, ho, ho. And I looked at it and I said, I would say happy birthday, happy Merry Christmas. Lady sat down in a chair, and when she came up to the window, she said, Merry Christmas, hello. And I said, Merry Christmas, and I went paid what I had to pay for. And I turned around to walk away from her, and she's sitting down, and I stopped. I could tell this. This is something that has happened many, many times in stores, and I'll look at somebody and they'll speak to me, and I'll turn around and walk away about a few steps, and something just stop, and I turn back and look at them. I can tell inside. I can tell. I know it.
What is it?
It's Jesus.
Okay.
It's the Lord that stops and turns.
That looks
thousands of times.
That looks at people. Yes.
He'll turn and look at people. I've seen business store people fall out. I mean, and I see them and I go to them and oh Lord, y'all.
Well, you said it. Was it Sunday? And little Vince, I call him Little Vince. Vincent said it sounded like a podcast. 24/7 Life of God. Yeah. And that's what you're talking about. The 24/7 life of God. Then sometimes I walk up to people and I say, I see you. They say, who? I said, I see you. But the you I'm talking about is us. The greater you. I like that. The greater you. Yes. The greater you. You shall seek me and shall find me when you search for me with all your heart. I searched for Jesus. I told you when I was a little boy, I used to carry the Bible around in my pocket, and people in the neighborhood would scold me. I told you about it. I was in school in the 7th grade, and I decided, since I couldn't do the work in the class, I did this. Miss Hildred was the teacher, and her and some other I knew that was teachers that were good for him. When the kids took their books out on the desk, I didn't take mine out. You pulled your Bible out? I pulled my Bible out. But you had one of the little bitty testaments? Pocket testament. I did that in the 7th grade. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted Jesus to help me in school. And how he did it, the way he did it, I didn't care much for it. But she stood me up in front of the class and scolded me. Personally embarrassing in front of all the kids in the classroom. I walked out of there like a penny with a hole in it, but I kept my Bible in my pocket. I carried that Bible because it was something about it that I decided that would help me. It kind of hollowed a part of me. But then in years, I put it down, and I put it down because I couldn't read it. I have seen the glory of God. And it's not something I work at to see. I can see it and look for it. Now, let me stop here and say something to you guys about this. The minute you wake up to being the author and the finisher of the Bible, I'm saying some bold statements because I don't give a hoot about what people think about what I'm saying. I do know that I met Jesus, and I didn't meet him in a church, and I didn't meet him in the synagogues and the brick and mortar. I met him in person. And I've been looking for him, and I was thinking that I had to wait to see him come in the sky, like people said. I stood around a table in the moonshine house where I was raised up, and every once in a while they go jumping off on Jesus. And I would be there, and I hear the conversation.
always a liquor drinker, alcohol, Jesus talking in a liquor house, moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mostly the debate were about should you drink.
Drink wine.
Drink wine, yes.
I found Jesus, and he was totally different than what I heard preached.
He is totally
I used to
different.
preach a Jesus, but I didn't know that I was preaching the wrong one. When I found the real one, I stood there a lot of times, and I stand there and I look across the floor, and I can feel the audience that I'm standing in front of, whether it is the presence of a female that come in the door or the presence of a male atmosphere around the congregation. I saw Jesus, and I still see him. I'm talking to him now. I'm talking to him, to you guys online. I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in a response from you or a note from you. All I am telling you is that when I found him, I didn't really go religious with him. When I found him, I went realistic with him. I didn't find him and want to just talk about him. I found him and wanted to be him.
Fell in love with the way, fell in love with the person that he is.
I say it all the time. I want to see you. I'm not seeing you enough. Okay, let's stop. I'm going to start over again. I've seen the miracles. I've seen the healings. I've seen all kinds of things. But it didn't happen because of a gift. I found out it happened because of a him. All right, let's start over again. I've lost interest in church. I've lost interest in trying to change people. I lost interest.
We've even pretty much lost interest in trying to teach.
Yeah, we lost that.
It has to come from a place that is truly authentic for us now.
Yeah, and you know the reason why I lost this. I got to tell you why. I found out that everything is incorporated. Everything is centered around beingness of him.
Being, yes.
The miracles, him. The walk of God, him.
Yes.
The forgiveness, him.
Yes.
The love, him.
Yes.
The hearing, him. The seeing, him. Manifestations, him.
And it's not him as an other.
No other.
That's
and
that's how it's different now. It's not him as an other.
And in this, it's satisfied the claim. It's like a baby crying, and you know what it's crying for, and mama finally find out what it is that he wants and crying for, and he stopped. My tears now are tears of the glory of God that I see. I can't understand, but I know it's true. God is inside of a murderer.
Yeah.
He's inside of a prostitute. He's inside of an atheist. He's inside of a businessman, an owner. He's inside of all the children in Brenner Hospital. He's inside of every jail cell and every man that's been sentenced to death row.
Yeah.
I used to think God can't live in no unclean temple. That's what they said in the church. But let me tell you something. If God can't live in an unclean temple, then we better forget it.
Yeah. Well, and then what do we call unclean? And that's
our definition of unclean. I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
Stop drinking, smoking, dipping, chewing, cussing, and hanging around everybody else to do.
Anything that's fun. Anything that's fun.
This dog standing beside me here, baby girl, she's attracted to anything that stink.
Yes, it's true.
And God is in the stink. God was in the pool of Bethesda, and the angel, as holy as it was it an angel or was it an everyday man, like a earth angel.
They would trouble. It would trouble the
Yeah.
water, so the
An
water
earth
evidently
angel.
would start to move.
Whether either they saw him, they sensed him, but an earth angel, and Jesus come by and saw the event, and it was no different. That angel was no different than he was, and the man went to Jesus, or Jesus went to him, and Jesus did the same thing to the man without stepping in that pool that the angel was doing to the pool when others stepped in it.
Yeah. Now, Linda's got a great comment. She says, God became man so that man would become God. I am that. I need no liberation, only from the idea of separation. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put a hang on that, Miss Linda. I'm gonna take what you said, honey, and I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna look at what you said, and I'm gonna see God in it. I don't have to make me see him. I see him because God is everything in the universe. I can't explain. I'm not going to omit. I'm not going to add. We're not going to take away. We're not going to examine. We're just going to drop the ball where it is and see Jesus Christ. Try it. Take your shoes off, for you've reached your destination. And your destination is you always wanted to know the truth behind this Christ. And you finally found it in your own personality or identity, whatever you want to call it. Yes. And in that, you can't understand, how can God be me when I got so many things messed up and wrong about this whole thing of being pure and holy in order to touch him. Them old saints used to say, none can see God but those that are holy.
Yeah, that's what they'd say.
Well, you got a lot of holes in you. A bunch of water holes. You drink water, you leak. But he's still there. I used to be around certain people in my family that cuss 24/7. And I used to say, God ain't in that. But I changed that now. I changed it. I'm not going to go around and tell everybody what I'm telling y'all. But I see him.
Yeah.
I don't want to see nothing else but him. You can go to the...
Well, nothing satisfies you but seeing him. Yes. Yes. And Vincent says that is the whole course.
That is the course.
That is the course.
That is the course in miracles right there.
That is the course.
Enough of looking for God. The quest has ended. The mountaintop searching and the flying searching and the depths of the ocean searching for him. And all the time it was him doing the searching and finding.
Linda said, yes. She said, I always wanted truth. I know it now. Everything is God.
There's something, Miss Linda, I want you to tell. I'm looking for somebody. There's a song they used to sing years ago. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go on, tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Yeah. And every time we wake up, it's him. Every time we go to sleep, it's him. Yeah. Every time we come on this telecast, it's him. Well, what if you come on now and you don't feel like it's still him? It's still him. Just can't keep a good man down. Bird him, bird us. Yeah. Went in the tomb, rolled the dirt over our face. That could not hold a man down like us.
Do you remember I used to have a meditation. I have to find that for us later on, about that today the Christ is born in me.
Yes.
Today the Christ. That's what Christmas is. Today.
There's another song that comes to me that says, can't no grave hold my body down. Can't no grave hold my body down. When that first trumpet sound, I'm coming out of the ground. I heard a preacher say this.
Years ago.
Years
ago. We were just
ahead.
little.
Go ahead.
We were little spring chickens.
Go ahead on now.
We had just gotten into the church.
Oh, glory.
And just gotten what we call saved. And we heard that preacher preach. My brother-in-law remembers his name. I can't. It was a McKinley. Bishop McKinney. He wore a little beanie hat.
Yeah, Bishop McKinney.
Tall, skinny man, and he preached. Nobody will ever throw dirt in my face.
That's right.
We sat there. We were in all like what? And this was in a little bitty holy roller. Holy Ghost church with little benches that were handmade, and it was
And if you move too much on them benches,
they pinch you.
They open up and pinch you.
Yeah. But that message rang inside of us. He said, "Nobody will ever."
That brings me to now. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. I've been taking therapy with a what do you call it, a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And he got a table in his room where it's
You're gonna actually tell this.
He popped this.
You're gonna tell this.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. And so when you go in there, he'll twist you and pop you and all that stuff. And he told me, I had on my Christmas stuff, my loose breeches and the hat and this. And he told me to lay down on my stomach and slide back. Because what he was going to do was have me to hold the braces on the front of the table, and he going to let the legs down and stretch my back.
It's actually a table they use for adjustment.
Yeah. But when I got on the table, he let the thing down and kept stretching me. And he finished. And when he finished, the table was open in the middle where I was laying, and he closed it up. I said, "Doc, is that all?" He said, "Yeah." But I said, Doc, wait a minute. I said, "I can't get up." He said, "What is it?" I said, "Doc, I can't get up." I said, "You done caught my tallywhacker in between that crack." That's what I told him. I said, "You done caught my wacky in between that thing and my shirt and my breeches, and I can't move."
Erase that picture.
So he had to go back and open the table up and set me free.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord have mercy. Pray for me, y'all, because I'm just straight down the middle of the road. When he opened that table up, he set me free. And I stood, boy, he laughed. I don't think he ever had anything. I don't think he ever had one of them pinch between that table and oh Lord.
Those pews that pinch, they make me think of that.
Yeah, that's what made me think about it. So when I go back to see him Wednesday at the what I say, 1:30, whatever. I'll go back and see him. I'm gonna say, "Doc, be careful with your table now, because that thing will pinch you. It'll get you." But that's the first time he ever had that. We had a good time talking.
Oh my Lord.
And I said, "Doc," I said, "I can't get up." He said, "What is it?" I said, "You got me, Doc." I said, "You pinned my whack it down there."
They laughing at you. They laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're laughing at you. Sister said too much info.
Well, I had to tell you, I'm talking about real Jesus experiences every day.
This is life.
This is life.
This is life experiences for us.
I have fun with people.
We have these kinds of experiences.
Some people say it sound like a comedian, but I can't help it. That's my life. And Doc closed me up in that table and squares me real good too. And I said, "Doc, you got to be careful with this table.
You're making my ears hurt."
How?
Yeah, because I'm laughing too hard. I'm laughing too hard.
Okay. I went with the talking too loud.
No.
I wish we could have took a picture of that.
Oh my gosh.
So when I go back, I'm gonna say, "Doctor, you better watch your table. That thing will bite you."
We have these kinds of experiences. We do. Laverne always says, "Y'all need a reality show." We do. We need a reality TV show.
Yes, sir. Sue said, "Sing it, sing it." We found the truth about where the Christ is in our personal life in this meat body.
Meat suit.
Mm-hmm. It's meat suit.
It's meat suit. That's what I call it, a meat suit.
I have in the bosom of God a place to lay my head, like John the Apostle. I lay my head in his breast, and I listen to the pulse beat of his heart. Every one of you out there tonight, you don't just have the heart of God. You are
the heart of God.
The actual living, tangible, breathing, blood pumping Jesus Christ heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anybody ask me about you, I'm going to tell them the truth on you.
And you don't.
You are the heart of God.
Yeah, and don't wait to feel it. Don't
Ain't
wait
going to tell no lie. You're beyond what your mind say.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Tell your mind to stay the H out of your business.
Yes, sir.
Because your heart is set. That old song said, when I get to heaven, I'm going to sit down.
All these songs popping up.
When I get to heaven, I'm going to sit down. When I get to heaven, I'm going to sit down and rest. It's a little while. No, I'm going to rest before I get there.
That's it. Yes, yes. Sue says it's not about feeling it. It's about knowing it. And knowing it is not simply a mental remembrance of it, but it's like, I'll give you an example. Like I was in the grocery store today, and I was looking for a particular item, and then this man came next to me and he said, "Hey," he bumped me like this and said, "Hey," and I looked at him, and when I looked at him, I had looked at him already. We had just kind of rubbed shoulders moving around in that aisle, and when I looked at him after he said hello, I recognized him. Before that, I didn't recognize him because he wasn't in the element that I'm used to seeing him in, so I didn't realize who he was. That's the kind of knowing I'm talking about. It's like, oh, I recognize you. It's the knowing that says, oh, yeah.
We brought with us in this dimension clues. It's a puzzle. Each one of us fit in that puzzle.
Yeah.
And once you wake up, you'll start seeing more of how to place the pieces.
Yeah.
A potter found a vessel that had been broken by the wind and the rain. The potter looked and saw a broken vessel. The vessel said, "Put me together again. I want to see how you fit. I want to see where I fit." Sometimes it takes a gruesome burden to find out where you fit, but just hold on.
Well, and
hold on.
With a potter,
you'll see it.
With a potter, sweetheart, a lot of times they'll make a vessel, and when they make it, they'll see some imperfection that they want to correct. Then they'll break it and start all over again.
Been broken by life, and let me tell you something. When something break.
When it breaks,
the essence is in competition. The essence, the fragrance, and the smell, the keynote of us is the fragrance of God. That fragrance disperses an odor, and that odor is the miracle working power of the essence that oozes through the broken places in the vessel.
Would you say that when we go through tremendous or severe suffering, and that can vary depending on whoever a person is, what makes me suffer may not make another person suffer, but when a person goes through that type of a suffering, that something does ultimately break in them, and that breaks won't come back.
No, it won't.
It won't come back.
Sometimes it leaves scar tissue, but even that gets softened.
And your whole outlook changes from it.
I came home one night. I think I've told you this. I was coming home from the factory, and I decided not to go down the expressway, but go down the back streets in the neighborhood, Cherry Street, where I live. And when I come down the street, I turned around the curve close to the expressway, and there was a man on the curve laying there. He was on his way to his living quarters, which was upstairs over a barber shop.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the man, but I don't know whether he knew me or not. But I knew him because he used to come down to my house and drink and buy moonshine. And he used to date my aunt's sister. He was laying out on the street, and I stopped and put him in my car, my Jeep. No, it wasn't Jeep. And put him in my Volkswagen, I guess. And I asked him, I said, where do you live? He told me where he went. I went with him, took him up to a place. He's upstairs over a barber shop. I helped him all the way up the steps to the first floor upstairs from the outside. And when I took him in there, I saw a whole lot of men just like him living in this quarters upstairs. It was a hallway and rooms were open like a barracks, like a military place.
Wow.
And that's where he stayed. To this day, he may be gone, but I saw him one time before we got married, and he was in my house. He don't remember I did that to him, but I know now who he was. That was Jesus.
Yeah, it was. Can I read a scripture?
Yes,
Pastor Norman reminded us of the potter in Jeremiah 18. Said the word of the Lord, that the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house according to the word of the Lord, and behold, he was doing work on the wheel. And the vessel which he was making of clay was spoiled in the hand of the potter. So he mixed the clay and made it into another vessel as seemed good to him. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter?
Wow. Says
the Lord, behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel. That gives you hope that you don't have to try so hard.
No, here's something I wrote in notes years ago. We had to alter our state in order to take this body.
Yes.
We had to alter our state. We changed our form to fit in this meat suit.
Mm-hmm.
We had to alter our whole spirit identity.
Yeah.
And hold on to that part that we never lost. And that's the eternal essence.
Yes.
Oh, I done popped. I'm telling you, this thing is so, you need to talk about it. Talk about it. Somebody said, talk about it. Talk about it. That's a song.
Yeah, another song.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Yes.
Tell it on the rooftop. I found Jesus, but I didn't find him to go around the churches and preach. I found him to know how to live.
Yeah. I like what Vincent's responding. He says, the break equals the unseen new quality or disintegration, which leads to reintegration. Yes.
I smell so.
That's good.
I smell the fragrance.
That's good. I'm so glad you guys help us.
Thank you so much.
You help us
Thank
teach.
You so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.
The glory of the Lord. Thank you on all of you. You know.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to get rid of misery is find somebody miserable that you think more miserable than you are and lift them up. I hope we said something tonight.
Yeah, Oliver. Hey, Ollie. I was thinking about you earlier today. He said, go tell it on the mountain, over the bill and everywhere.
Over the bill and
over
everywhere.
the bill and everywhere. Yeah.
I'm looking for some fresh green lettuce to come in the mailbox.
Okay.
Fresh green, like $2,000 would be great for this Christmas.
Well, if you're going to go all the way,
but I'm going to go all the way. Yeah. Thank you so much for the
gift
of God that you all are to us.
You all are our gifts.
You and Laverne. You know, Laverne has been with us as our bookkeeper, secretary, and church sound person over the years.
She's done everything. She's been
done
chief cook
everything.
and bottle washer.
Yeah, she done all that stuff. When we started out, she was in college with Pastor Norman. They all used to come over to my house on the weekend and spend time with us, and they were just
when they were kids.
When they were kids.
They were kids.
And we had some of the most gracious time. Laverne used to drive for me when I used to go on trips to speaking engagement.
Oh yeah,
she would drive for
she's
us.
a great chauffeur.
She had a chance to drive one of them big old Hummers that I used to have long years ago, and she drive. And Laverne, you are the heart of us. I don't know anything else to say. Miss Essie and all these little people that are on the other side, I speak to you now from the heart of God. We love you. We love you. We love you.
And I want to say that they're not gone, but their bodies being gone makes you feel that there's a void there. But they're not gone. They're more with us now than they were before.
Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Glory
yeah.
be
Vincent says he loves us. We love you too, sweetheart. We love you so much.
And words are not enough.
Sadie said she sent us something in the mail. Thank you, Sadie. I'm sure Laverne will make sure that we get it. And then, Pastor Norman said he misses those times. Yeah,
I do. Yeah. We do. We all miss it. We sure do. We sure
do. In fact, we get to talk to Pastor Norman when we do our impromptu, but just like I mentioned before, we're going to be holding off on that until January the 5th. So we'll be back again beginning at the first of the year. Pastor and I kind of enjoyed, though, of not having anything to pressure us during the week.
Yeah, my baby girl just come over.
And also, I want to remind you of the Christmas Eve service that we're going to be having on Saturday. That's at 7:30, and we will not be having a Sunday service. And you guys live in North Carolina. I don't know where you live. If you're going to be in that ice storm or all of the weather that they're talking about, I hope you stay warm and stay safe. And we hope to see you then that night at 7:30. So other than that, I think that's all we have on our docket. And that's all we have to announce.
But we bless you and thank you and you make sure you guys have a happy Christmas.
Yes.
Be safe. Okay.
Thank you, Jill. Jill always posts what we forget to do. Thank you, Jill. She thinks for us, thinks ahead of us.
I got the baby girl talking to me.
Yes, baby girl. She ate her treats, and now
your nose is cold. Girl.
She's been playing with her toy. I hope you guys weren't distracted by it. She was over there with this squeaking. And
she just making noise.
Remember, Linda reminded me of this when she said this. Linda just posted this comment. She said, "Death is not a period; it's a comma." Actually, we said birth is not the beginning and death is not the end.
That's right.
Type that in. Birth is not the beginning and death is not the end.
I tell you that we take baby girl down the Lowe's, and when we go in there, everybody want to talk to her. They want to talk to her. What is that? So one guy said, we could say, baby girl. We was at the Salvation, not the up there with the place where you take the Goodwill place.
Yeah.
And we called baby girl. And he said,
well, baby girl I was trying to get the stuff out of the back of the Jeep, and baby girl was trying to get out of the Jeep while I was doing it. And I said, baby girl, move. And he said, what's the baby girl's name? I said, baby girl.
That's baby girl. And she looking at mama now. Look, see mama talking about you.
Yes, birth is not the beginning and death is not the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baby girl.
Yeah.
Baby girl is 70 years old.
Baby girl's ready for her dinner. She hasn't had dinner yet, and she's finished her treats, so she's ready for it. Look, you guys, we love you so much.
Yeah, we do.
And we thank you for tuning in to us tonight and giving us such great comments. And thank you so much. We just enjoy talking to you. You guys inspire us. And we just want you to have the.
And y'all be praying with me because my hips are getting where I have trouble walking and getting up out of the chair.
He's having a little trouble moving around.
Yeah, the left hip has been getting it fit, but I'm gonna be okay. I just have to walk through it. But sometimes I can't hardly get out of the chair. But you give me a Yahoo out there on the healing power of Jesus. Thank you.
It'd be good. I thought about this for those of you who are local, to come by and right on New Year's and give me and Pastor a hug.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, we'll wear a mask or go outside, whatever. But we just want to see you and hug your necks. And so if you can do that, do a drive by on
Brother
New
James,
Year's.
I've been playing a little guitar with Earl Clue and George Benson here, and I do that every night before I go to bed, and I think about the time that you and I used to have when we was in Winston. How we bought a guitar and you came on. We stay up over all day long Saturday in the basement there picking the guitars and running the trains I used to have. I remember those good moments that we had, Brother James. And,
you know what I just thought about? Most of you guys who work, you're probably off on Monday.
Yeah.
If you're off on Monday and you're not busy, come by and give me and Pastor a hug.
Yeah, please do. If you just want to go to Captain Kirk and get the Starship Enterprise and beam in and beam out, it's all right with us. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, we would. We'd love to see you guys.
Thank you again for the lovely presence of God that you are.
We're going to take off here, and we'll be back again on. No, we won't be back on Sunday because Sunday.
Saturday. Won't.
It'll be Saturday at 7:30.
7:30.
Saturday at 7:30.
7:30.
Christmas Eve.
Okay. See you then.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.